Is it easier to tube it if it's not as short? I mean, not as long? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean it is because the length of this guy here
Yeah.
makes it a little bit easier. You know, it's kind of like making single jump rings. You can do it over this right here. You can make one or two right there before it starts diminishing in size. In this case, if you don't hit these squarely in here, it'll want to curve one way or the other. But you'll be able to control that. What I really need to do is to cut a taper onto one end. Because eventually what happens is I will be drawing this through a draw gauge. And so this has got to be thinner so it'll go into the hole of the draw gauge.
It's a tube.
And it's cut all those little Sharpie one things off there.
So that end will be kind of sacrificial.
Yeah. You see that on that one I passed around.
Yeah, I noticed it had.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah, that it had.
Okay, yeah, so there's the mungy end where you have to grab it with the draw tongs to pull it through, because that's how I finish it off. Most of it's done right here in the swage block. So I'm going to start with the rawhide mallet, not to mark it. Eventually I have to go to the smaller rivet hammer with the cross peen look to it. I like to have it rounded rather than sharp. This one is much more rounded and smooth. Even though I don't have to worry about it, you're not going to ever see it because it's going to get close to the inside. Keep that in mind. Tap, tap, tap. In the center. When do you know you're done? You start to hear it hit solid. And I need to go this way a little bit more. I'm happy with that. Go to the next size. You notice what starts happening here?
Going toward the edge?
The size of this is so much equal to the size of that. I want to get all the way down to the bottom. And I might do it with this one, but the next one, there's no way that that's going to happen. I'm going to have to get the smaller hammer in there. And my intention is not to thin the metal out, so I'm going to be using, let me use this guy first. I'm going to be going over here and making him narrower. The other thing I do, hammering, so I know I'm hitting and striking right where I want to hit. See that arm is kind of placed down on the table? And all I'm doing is moving my wrist here. It's not how hard you hit it, but it's kind of where you hit it. In this case, I'm working the center and letting the swage pull this up to that curved shape. I can go back this way and notice that when I'm striking it here, see how solid it's sounding?
Gary, with metal on metal like that, how do you avoid
Not hitting it too
chopping
hard.
into the metal, just keeping it real?
Not hitting it too hard. Yeah, this is a 1/2 millimeter thickness. I'm not trying to stretch it at all, so that's why I'm not striking it very hard. I'm just striking it hard enough to get it down into the groove. And I can turn it a little bit this way if one edge isn't coming down. And let me do it this way. I'll turn it this way. This is not quite as round as I was hoping in this one. So I'm going to strike it right here, raise it up a little bit, strike it right there, and then turn it this way down. And so you just keep this guy as square along these edges as you can. The one thing I didn't do that I just thought about that it was be helpful is if you file that edge before you start to actually form it. And main thing is when you cut it, it pinches it. So you just want to have a nice flat surface there. And this is going to be just fine, even though I kind of skipped that. Okay, so at any rate, what I'm going to do now is to continue the swaging. And you notice how I'm getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I'm going to continue with this hammer here. Flip that around. Just turn it that way. So right there needs it. And one more time around this way. Okay, this the swage that I have at home is a plastic swage. And so I either way, you know, if I thin this out a little bit, that's really okay. But they have different sizes there. So I'm looking for one that's going to pull me up a little bit narrower. That one right there is going to have to do it. Let me try this hammer for a while. Either one's working fine, but I just want to get this to squeeze down to the bottom of this. And the